And I would not be surprised at all if they want to give Ben-Hur that mid-bat this game around. Only time will tell, but overall the hero just in any lane basically secures you the win in that specific lane.
Mm.
So Execration, it seems like they've put a lot of focus on just making sure they do win out that laning stage.
That they have. And I think even considering what Adroit likes to draft, that Batrider is a really good pick for that. This makes it very hard for something like the PA for Adroit to make an appearance. It's just going to get really controlled up by that bat and not going to be a very easy time. Adroit do pick up the Phoenix, so it does look like perhaps the Boomy Phoenix, or maybe Boomy will be on the Beastmaster and Bensoy's on the Phoenix again. There is flexibility there, and it's not too far off from the last draft we saw. There is some potency in running it this time for Adroit. You've got great control, great team fight. The issue is going to be EXP. All 3 heroes so far really want to hit their 6 fast.
True. Execration now will go into the Troll Warlord pickup. There's nothing really there like an Oracle or anything like that to really amplify that Troll's sustainability, but the Troll has been, I think it has been very successful over the games we have seen it in. It does make enough sense up against the Phoenix, of course. You can just burst the egg down quite fast. I don't particularly like the Troll into the Bane though, if I'm honest.
Yeah.
You know, you pop Battle Trance, he can Fiend's Grip, he can Nightmare you. Sure, you can ask one of your teammates to take that Fiend's Grip or the Nightmare off, but it can be challenging. It's not really a thing you want to have to deal with throughout the team fight. It can be a bit chaotic, especially considering there is already going to be a Phoenix Egg there that you might also have to put your focus on too. But Adroit now, seeing that Troll Warlord come out, should be able to find some form of counter towards that Troll. Of course, you won't have the Morphling, you won't have the Ricky, but they'll bring out the Legion Commander for now, it seems.
Yeah, it's an interesting pick. It gives you the purge for the Batrider though, right? You
Right.
don't have to worry too much about the napalm, and you have a way of dealing with that control. So I like it for that. I think in terms of holding down the troll, most definitely that's not your dual target. That's just asking pain for yourself. It can go south if you're forced to control the troll that way, but as you mentioned, the Bane is there, so I think just having this spell available for Adroit is great. They can't really draft in the Abaddon. I don't think Core Abaddon's been particularly successful. We've seen that though, but I'd much rather the LC come out. So this does work out for Adroit. It does limit their team fight. They're really constrained to the Egg and to the Beastmaster, and I guess Duel for single target control. But in terms of AoE, it's really down to the Egg. So the positioning of that Phoenix has to be perfect, and Adroit has to be able to play around it. Really curious what they close out with. You're probably not going to see that PA come out here. The Morphling's been banned out early. This really doesn't look like a Medusa game as well for Adroit, so I wouldn't go in there because Kroll actually makes that matchup pretty hard. Options are limited for Adroit's traditional pool, and they will be forced to pick first.
We'll find out very soon what that is going to be. Could see something like an Ursa come out here for Adroit if they so wished. Can be a bit hard into the Batrider, but you do have the natural purge. And no, of course the Lone Druid was still there. Completely forgot about that one. And I like that. I think there's not really a direct counter towards that Lone Druid. The Batrider is going to have a tough time getting to that Lone Druid because you have the Spirit Bearer in front. Even the Troll Warlord. Like, just to get to the actual hero to try and deal with him, you've got to go through that Spirit Bear. The likelihood is you're going to get entangled before you even get to that point and probably taken out. And it does offer even more push for this dire side. So I do like the way they finished this out. And Execration now, who are still missing some kind of mid laner, they do need a way to get to that Lone Druid. So we could see something along the lines of a Storm this game, maybe. Could work out. Not the greatest to Bane Beastmaster, though, I've got to be honest, John. And even the
Definitely
LC.
not.
You would have loved that Void Spirit or even the Ember Spirit this game, but they actually ended up banning those out themselves. So now it's just a matter of what they can get to really get to that backline and deal with this Lone Druid.
Yeah, it's tricky. They do have the bat once it blinks up, but again, you have a lot to really focus on. They go with the Kunkka. That's one way. The X mark to hold him down. All the chain stuns in the world gives him a lot more team fight on Execration, and with a troll, That's a lot more sustain as well coming out for Execration, so it ties up their draft nicely. I think there's a lot of ways for both sides to play their aggression here. I do have to give Adroit a bit of a draft advantage, just because the LD is just so value, as you mentioned. Not only for those reasons, but you have to consider the fear. We've seen
Right.
that fear ruin every fight, and considering how clumped up you want to be to destroy the egg, one great place fear means that egg is never going to die. So there's a lot of value there for Adroit. The key thing is to ride out their laning phase. Execration does have really scary lanes. You need to give Natsumi space, and we've seen him struggle the past 2 games. He needs to be able to farm up. That's going to be key for Adroit.
He should be fine this time around, I think. BHM on that Batrider may be a little bit frustrating. Can be a bit more challenging to try and micro that bear when it's got that terrible turn rate. I'm sure Natsumi will be fine. It's going to be a matter of how they get these lane matchups going, because obviously for Adroit, they're going to want to try and get Ben Soy to lane up against BHM. So they may run the safe lane Legion up against BHM's Batrider. Because you do have the mid Beastmaster this time around being up against Ben Hur on that Kunkka, which may not be the easiest lane here for Mac either. So you
No.
can really just clear out those balls quite easily with Tidebringer.
Yeah. I think in this case, you most definitely opt for the
Whoa.
Axis.
Why am I hearing you twice, John?
Oh, yeah, no, I accidentally hit unmute, but the sorry about that. The Wild Axis build is the way to go for that matchup. You just lose out a lot to the Kunkka with the Tidebringer. It's just not favorable for Mac to opt for those boars still. He is holding on. I mean, we got that instant pause, and he doesn't actually have the shared tangos. They're actually gearing up for Natsumi to go down mid.
Okay. I don't think that's too bad at all. I think that's probably preferable up against that Kunkka.
Yeah,
So maybe
you
Mac
can
safe
trade
lane then.
better. Yeah, it does look that way, and the Beastmaster safe is still gonna get what it wants. I think in that lane though, you will have to watch out for wherever wherever RR ends up laning. It does look like he is gonna walk top. So again, you have to watch for that level 1 from Mac. Has to consider whether or not he wants to go Axis still or Boar
No, I think he's going
up
off
against
lane.
the edge. Oh,
Never
okay.
mind. Ben
Oh,
Soy, he got the magic stick up. So they definitely want to try and get that lane match up there against the Batrider. And so far, Yaha and BHM are rotating up towards that top. Because whether BHM sticks around here in this off lane or switches up to the safe lane will be a different story entirely. But this is definitely not the matchup Execration want.
no. It does look like Adroit knows what's up, and they are going to be able to, at least for now, get the favorable lanes. It doesn't look like they're going to be set to walk around, though. You could say the same about Execration. We tend to see teams that do want to play those laning games start to walk very early, hang around mid first, but they're not quite set for that just yet.
Poor old Palos is going to take a fair bit of harass there on the troll. Should be fine to just regen up before the lane even starts. I don't know if the side of Execration can really fight over these bottom bounty runes. They will be able to secure the top bounties anyway, so they don't really need to. But of course, you always want that added value if you can. They should realize by this point as well that the LC is going to be up top. So if they're going to go for the switch up, they may as well do it now. But for now, BHM looks to just be trying to secure the bounty rune. So it looks like he probably won't leave yet. You are kind of going to miss out on the main sort of influence of that Batrider in that laning stage if you don't switch up these lanes. Like, you're just going to give free stick charges over to Ben Soy. And he's just going to keep purging off that sticky napalm every single time.
Yeah, it's going to be hard to maintain that if they do force this out. And again, for Execration, we have tended to see BHM be the influencer. Like, he's the guy who sets the pace for the team from the offlane role. So you wouldn't want this Batrider to bleed out. And we'll find out whether or not they do commit to an early lane switch up. Just going to wait for the runes to be up and running. looks like it's really just going to be calm after that initial set of hits onto Palos.
Now BHM is running down bot. So they're going to bring Palos up top. Now the question is how to, yeah, Adroit are switching as well. Boomy will come top on the Phoenix. And, Bensoy, is he going to leave the top lane? I don't think he's aware quite yet that he's not going to be up against BHM anymore. It won't matter. He's just going to wait around, now go into the lane. No, he's going to make a run for it. He's going down bot. We've seen this before. We'll see how long these teams are willing to do this. You generally don't want to lose this lane matchup if you are the side of Adroit, but you're going to miss one full creep wave at least for Bensoy, and more than likely 2 or 3.
Yeah, and the rough thing about this for Adroit is that there was a really good ward from Execration to watch that movement. So they're going to be ready for this, and they can just walk back again if they did want that.
I don't think Adroit can afford to swap again. That's the thing. BHM, gonna see the LC. Do you want to TP out? Not quite yet. He's gonna try and deal with it here with RR. I suppose the thing is, if you have the Enchantress and the Batrider in one lane, you can make the argument it becomes a little bit easier for that Batrider to try and control Bensoy. But overall, the problem is Bensoy's got the Bane there. So CML's not going to mind trading Harass with the Enchantress. The Brain Sap is way better than the Impetus, in my opinion, as a trading tool. Yeah, CML's not going to mind.
Yeah, it's not very easy for RR, but this is the lane matchups you were looking for. Of course, Adroit with Mac up top, and knowing that the Enchantress is not there, he can go for the board build. So that's additional value up against Palos at least. You can kind of keep that Troll Warlord in check with the annoyance of the boars.
Yeah, Yaha's going to be there with Palos, but he can't really do much to help here. Still, Palos is going to get some decent free farm until Mac has a few more levels up on that Beastmaster. Do see Boomy going for a small camp pull, but doesn't get the stack off there either, so you're going to have a double wave coming into the side of Execration. Palos is definitely going to enjoy this. It's going to be a lot of farm going his way. And Yaha is still sticking around, making sure they don't get some kind of pull off here on Boomy. He's going to try for it. I think he might be a little early, though. Palos now. Actually going to cop a fair bit of harassment, but Yaha gets a nice Fisher off. Boomy does have the Icarus dive. And Execration, they just have to wait for this huge creep wave to come in. It's going to be there eventually.
It's going to be a lot of EXP for Palos, and would have been nice EXP for their Shaker, but you do see Yaha walk away. He wants to be down mid. Keep eyes on Natsumi, and Natsumi has been farming okay, but you can really see Ben-Hur start to pull away at 23-2 compared to that 15-2 on Natsumi.
We'll see the rotation in mid from Yaha, but doesn't really amount to anything. There is a bit of a counter rotation coming in from CML now as well on the Bane. Just in case Yaha's trying to make something happen, even Boomy showing up. They're just trying to secure both these power runes. And, well, Execration, luckily for them, they do, or excuse me, Adroit do get lucky, and the bot power rune is the one that spawns. Meanwhile, both heroes down at the bot lane go down. BHM was actually able to find the kill before Bensoy ends up killing off that Batrider. So ultimately, Execration do win out and get first blood.
Yeah, they get first blood, they get the EXP as well on BHM, so Bensoy not going to be too happy about that. Both sides do get a bit of a reset that does favor the Batrider a lot more, considering that he does get a full mana pool to spam his spells, although Bensoy at 3 does have Press the attack up and running, so the amount of harassment the Napalm can do does kind of shrink because of that.
He really hasn't been able to secure much farm though on this LC. Been very back and forth between him and the Batrider, and he is ahead of BHM. But overall, not really dominating the lane as you would have expected from the Legion Commander. Well, Adroit, looks like they got quite a few bounty runes out of this. It's a 2 for 2 anyway. BHM going to return back into the lane as that Batrider, but top lane, Boomy ends up going down. Yaha with the setup, and Palos was also there to secure the kill.
Yeah, he did dive in deep for that bounty rune. He had to expend the dive, the Icarus dive, to get that. So, had no way of going out and is easily punished afterwards. Ooh, Natsumi. It's got to be careful. Fed his bear away to Ben-Hur. Ben-Hur threw out the ult and the torrent and the X, but that's 300 gold. That's even better than a hero kill at this point in the game.
Yeah, that's actually something we haven't talked about, but that mid lane. Ben-Hur has been dominating that lane on the Kunkka, but that's kind of to be expected from the Kunkka pick. It does just tend to win you out that lane very, very easily. Thought Natsumi would have a bit of a better time in this mid, but not quite. And now bot lane, BHM ends up finding a CML on the Bane, and well, they did rotate over Yaha just in case. Bensoy not really able to help out on the LC. And it's going to make it a 3-1 lead now for Execration.
I think they realized the bot lane for BHM was a bit too tough. Again, you looked at his last hits, like you mentioned, it's not that great, and Bensoy has been able to pump out that harass. So they really needed something to help BHM, and they do rely on him to set the pace. So just giving him that kill does help out a bit. It's not slowing down Bensoy, but you'll take what you can get.
Well, Bensoy seems to be having mana issues right now. He just has to spam and press the attack so often that, well, he does have the stick charges available, but he doesn't really want to commit them just for the sake of getting his mana back. Top lane, Mac ends up going down. Ben-Hur with a rotation on the Kunkka. I believe they've actually lane switched here as Yaha does take over the mid lane on the Earthshaker, but now Natsumi gets an entangle off and they do quickly burst down Yaha. Adroit just making sure Natsumi is okay in that mid lane. So his bear has been taking substantial amounts of damage, especially from RR on that Enchantress. And now it seems as though Ben-Hur will return back into the mid lane.
Yeah, the key thing for Execration is to keep Natsumi shut down. You can't allow this lone druid to find these early kills. You just keep making it hard, force him into the jungle early, and when that happens with Adroit, their team fight, again, is not as amazing. They have ways of playing against the Batrider, against certain things of Execration, but it's always going to be a bit slower because you're waiting for that LD to build up.
Well, Boomy could be in trouble up at the top triangle area of the Radiant. X does connect there from Ben-Hur into the Torrent, of course. He does have Icarus dive, but he may not have time with that Enchanted creep from RR stunning him up. And Yaha was there to just keep him perma-stunned. These are great little rotations coming out early from Ben-Hur. In fact, he's going to try and have a go here onto Natsumi, but Natsumi will quickly morph into the bear form. But Adroit, they are slowly falling behind throughout this laning stage, and with the draft that Execration has, they can really run over you quite fast if you're not too careful. In fact, CML top lane was also being chased down. He does get the Nightmare off and will survive.
Yeah, but as you mentioned, Adroit is slipping away here. Like, only a 1k advantage for Execration, but if you look at Ben-Hur's farm, he's at 4.6, way above everyone else, and at 9 minutes in, that's a lot, although...
Yeah, Bensoy ends up getting his first duel of the game. Yaha, he did TP in and Fisher. Fisher wasn't the greatest, though, unfortunately, for Yaha. He was trying to deal with Boomy on that Phoenix, but does kind of leave the duel alone, and well, Bensoy takes a very, very easy victory on that LC. Still, it looks like Execration are going to start focusing on trying to force down that top tier 1 tower a little bit. But the same thing's going to happen, of course, down at the bot lane. Adroit are ready to try and force this in. Unfortunately for Adroit, they have Ben-Hur there, but he's TPing out, and now Yaha has been left alone. Raw's going to be committed from Mac, and they will easily secure the kill on this Earthshaker.
Yeah, that should open up the bot lane for the taking. They can get the shove in with a Beastmaster. Their creep wave is pretty far back though, and up top you can see Palos chipping away at that tier 1 top as well. So it's going to be an exchange at best, and as long as Execration is still finding objectives in return, I don't think they're going to mind too much. Like, they still maintain that slight lead. You do see Palos start to pull ahead, and Ben-Hur maintains that big jump he has over everyone else. So there are still things for Adroit to find, and Natsumi really just needs to play the farming game. Doesn't even have a Mask of Madness on the bear. It's been a slow build-up for our LD.
Yeah, he has struggled quite a bit in that mid lane. Speaking of that mid lane, Ben-Hur going to start forcing in the tier 1 mid tower. They don't have the Troll Warlord with them. That's perfectly fine. So they will just back off now on the side of Execration. They may even run into Mac on the high ground, but CMO is going to be there with the Fiends group ready to go. Instead, Ben-Hur goes to the X onto Ben Soy. Torrent will be there, but I don't believe they'll have enough damage. So no, Yaha, he goes for the Echo into the boat, and they will definitely have enough damage. Ben Soy just taking all of it. But now Ben-Hur, he could be in trouble, John. Mac is there with the Roar. They can't get body blocks off onto the Kunkka, though. And that means he will run away.
Yeah, a lot of things just not lining up for Adroit. I think if you had a value point in the Sunray from Boomy, maybe they'd be dissuaded to really commit for that long. They're just entirely focusing down onto Ben Soy, and well, they did find that kill though.
Yeah, bot lane, easy Fiend's grip there from the Bane. There was a Roar being committed on the sidelines. Looks like CML might be, or RR might be in trouble. Meanwhile, down at the bot lane, Ben-Hur trying to make a chase here with Yaha. They aren't able to find anybody though. Adroit going to successfully back out of that situation. Ben-Hur still trying to find a target. He will go after CML. It's going to be an easy Bane kill. May go for the Nightmare, and actually goes for the Brain Sap as well. Oh, that's not the Fisher though, blocking the pathway. Now the egg drops. Ben Soy's here as well. He wants to go for that jewel, and he does get one. That was just not a great Fisher from Yaha. Ben-Hur going to come in now, does have the boat back up. They're still trying to chase after CML. Ben Soy there to try and help out with Natsumi. They go after Palos. Fisher out again. Palos being entangled, tries to pop the battle trance and does get it. Now Ben Soy going to be chased down. Does go down to Ben-Hur with that boat. The rest of Adroit just going to try and back out of there successfully.
Yeah, it's not the best for Adroit, despite finding those kills. I think, again, you're trading away Natsumi's bear, which is 300 gold, which is probably worth more than most heroes right now. So that's another nice pickup for Execration. Palos did get that last hit, so that does feed into our troll, and they are maintaining that lead here, Execration 1k, but Ben-Hur's still on top. Palos is right behind him. You see Palos going for the faster SNY build. I like seeing this coming out from Execration. They just want to fight aggressively. They know Adroit. They need time to cook up, especially on their LD. And Execration with their draft just comes online super fast. So Adroit has to be careful in where they force these fights. I have to say the positioning of the egg from Boomy wasn't quite the best as well. That did give enough time for Palos to just run around outside and just dive back in. So Adroit's got to maybe line it up just a bit better, but they do smoke up. They want to find more.
Yeah, they've got the Fiend's Grip, they've got the Roar, they've got the Jewel, they've got everything. Just apart from that egg, but that's going to be up in 5 seconds. Palos would be a great target for them to make the jump on, but they don't really have a blink. So instead, they're going to try and run through the mid lane, see if they can find a pick off there. That tier 1 tower is taking a substantial amount of damage, so Boomy does TP in. Ben-Hur will go for the X, but now they rotate in onto RR. It's going to be another easy duel victory there for Ben Soy. They do defend that tier 1, and with that kill, they may be able to try and set up onto the mid tier 1, but though no. They did spot out Palos, they'll make the chase. Natsumi looking for an entangle, not quite getting one. Palos will be able to get out, and now the turnaround. A great Fisher out from Yaha, but no. Ben-Hur's been blocked in that tree line. So now, Adroit will just go after that tier 1 mid tower, and they do get it, basically for free.
Yeah, Execration, they are well, not trading the best, but Adroit hasn't been really able to get best jumps as well. They need an initiation tool beyond just walking up. I mean, Bean's Grip is great, but CML doesn't quite have the levels nor the items to extend the range of it. And again, you need some long range, although Palos...
Oh, he almost found that range. Palos moved an inch back just at the last second, and CML could not get the grip off.
That would have been really big if they could have punished the troll. Still, they're trying to find that opportunity. They're playing really aggressive Adroit, sticking to the enemy jungle and max circling around.
Bensoy Raw gonna be there. They go straight after Yaha. Jewel out on Palos, but a great bow down. The Sunray trying to help them. It's not doing enough though. Now the lasso cancelled off immediately from BHM. Mac trying to run, will go down. CML in trouble, trying to control up the side of Execration. And well, Execration, they are starting to fight back. It's a 2-for-2 trade. Can they find anything else? Bensoy does take the torrent. Natsumi still trying to go into RR on that Enchantress. Does finally get the entangle off and does get the kill. Now Adroit trying to get more. And ultimately for Adroit, it will be a 3-for-2 trade. And they do find some very, very valuable heroes.
Yeah, they finally find that troll, which has been going unpunished for a long time. They get that pivotal kill on Palos. Rather reckless in that duel. They miss out on that opportunity to build up in Bensoy, but I guess they're just trying to go for control. And fairly soon you will see more control options coming out for Adroit. They're working on a blink for Bensoy. Just being able to blink in and perhaps duel. I think Ben-Hur has to be your next target because that boat is just really giving a lot of value towards Execration, keeping them alive a lot longer than they should be. Should be the priority to kind of isolate. And once Bensoy is able to do that, I think you can expect Adroit to have an easier follow-up in these fights, not having to worry about that extended durability on Execration.
Yeah, it's been a real problem, that Kunkka. Once that blinks up on Bensoy, may not be so big of an issue. Gotta be worried about Yaha though. He's getting very, very close to having that blink up now on that Earthshaker. Trying to find the last few hundred gold. Palos getting relatively close to finishing off the Sergeant Yasha, but it looks like he may decide to go after the BKB first. She has been struggling a little bit in these team fights. There's just so much control from Adroit.
Yeah,
He may just feel like he needs it first.
Can't blame him, but there's a lot to worry about, right? Like, there's still the Fiend's Grip. There's still the Roar. All of those really don't care for the BKB, so Palos has to be careful as to when he actually uses it. And you can see Adroit again playing aggressive on the map, planting deep wards, playing on the opposite jungle, just not giving Execration the safest spaces to farm it.
And now they go for the Roshan play, Adroit. So many units there. This will be a quick Roshan. Of course, Execration should know this is happening. I don't think they can actually get in there to try and take the Aegis away from Adroit, so they'll just have to let it go down. Double blinks coming up though now on the side of Execration, but RR has been caught out. Roshan finished, and it's going to be a nice, easy duel victory for Bensoy at the end. It's a bit unfortunate as well that blink timing on Yaha just came up. The one on BHM also did come up at the exact same time. Had you had those blinks, you may have decided to take that fight for Execration, but they were just a few seconds too late.
Yeah, it would have been really big if they could have contested. Still, with his blink pickups, Execration has tools and ways of actually really forcing in bigger fights onto Adroit. Adroit's got to be really careful about clumping up, because the Shaker can set up and BHM can just drag someone away. So Adroit has to maintain that discipline and not really clump up. I mean, something like this would be easily punishable. It's just a tier 1. It's not worth the effort, although Yaha.
In the mid lane, Fisher going to go out onto the Spirit Bearer of Natsumi, and BHM's also going to be there. They really want that 300 gold, but Natsumi is going to be able to micro it out. They're unwilling to, of course, dive into that Spirit Bearer and really try to burst it down. They understand they are a bit behind right now on the side of Execration. Although the net worth definitely doesn't show it, but this draft from Adroit really does come online now. Ben Soy not going to go for the duel there onto the Kunkka, as he did already have an X out, but the tier 2 tower will be very, very easy to take, especially when you can just spam press the attack on the Spirit Bear. That thing attacks very, very quick.
That it does. And, you know, looking at Natsumi's farm, a while ago he wasn't doing too hot. Now he's number 2 in net worth, has the MKB on the bear. So it really does hit like a truck. And Execration, I mean, they finish up the BKB on Palace, but again, he has a lot outside that pierces, that magic immunity that he has to be worried about. So his positioning has to be on point. Execration has to start with Yaha and BHM. They need to burst down the Beastmaster and the Bane before this troll can really take over in fights.
Adroit. Natsumi goes in there with the Spirit Bear. Mask of Mana is activated. Not going to be an easy defense out for Execration. Lasso, no, BHM doesn't get it off, and now the Fiend's Grip Roar comes out. They're going to take down this Batrider. Palos jumps in, a huge echo though. Yahan, all the heroes. Adroit trying to get out. Egg is down on the side of Adroit. Can they actually fight back here? It looks like they can. They'll find 2. They'll find 3. Ben-Hur trying to run away. The echo is not going to be enough.
Oh, man.
Yaha at least finds CML behind, but... well, they will defend that tier 3 tower. Yaha's going to be chased down now by Ben Soy. Ben Soy should eventually be able to get this kill off him. However, they've left the tier 3 tower, and they will give up on that kind of push.
Yeah. And I guess you count that as a successful defense from Execration, right? You mentioned it, but their objective stand, they did have to buy back on, I believe that was RR's buyback still. There are issues. And that was the BKB usage from Palace as well. It's just not enough. Even the slam was just not enough. It was really down to BHM. He blinked in. He was just out of range of the lasso. He wasn't close enough, and that cost them that fight. Execration needs both of those spells to land to get the control, because Palace just can't take over when the Fiend's Grip and when the Roar comes out.
Oh, Jewel gonna be there straight into the Kunkka.
Oh.
That's the one they want, but Lasso is out from BHM, controlling up this Legion. But now the Roar comes in. They do take down Ben-Hur. They'll lose Ben Soy as well. Adroit, they'll take the tier 2 mid tower, and that'll be it. They just want to back out. You're missing a lot of siege ability without that LC being around with that press the attack. No need to rush here for Adroit, as they understand they have the lead. This troll, just... Palos is just being controlled way too much. Like, although he's second in net worth right now, he just can't sit there and auto-attack.
No. Again, it's down to the fact that Adroit has so much that goes true. Oh.
Fiend's Grip, gonna be there. He just ran up the high ground. With the Sun Ray, it's so much damage.
You can't walk up there. You can't go out your base like that. Palos just being a bit reckless in his movement, gets punished, and he did just buy out the SNY, so he doesn't lose too much gold, but you're giving away kills that shouldn't be flying out to Adroit. And, you know, you've got a blink now as well onto Max Beastmaster. So all the initiation being set up now, Adroit, they can just go ahead and try to siege high ground.
That they are. X up on the Spirit Bear. He misses the torrent. Natsumi won't care either way. Ben Soy just waiting. There's the press the attack on the bear. God, it attacks so quick. Fisher flies out. They'll get the tier 3 and that's it. They don't want to risk anything else. No Aegis there on Natsumi, so no need to risk anything. They will wait around for another kill attempt here onto Execration though. Palos would be a great target if they could get in there. They are going to go. Raw is there with the duel now as well. CML moving in. Boat is out. Palos does get the battle trance, and now the echo once again. Yaha, a huge echo. The lasso's out. They found the lone druid, and it looks like Adroit. They got a bit greedy. Way too greedy. Palos gets a triple kill on the Troll Warlord. You can't underestimate the power of that Echo right next to that Radiant base. I mean, the last time we saw it, it didn't do much. This time, it did a hell of a lot.
Yeah, that's really not it for Adroit, and they need to declump. They were so clumped up there trying to find that kill on Palos. They got punished hard. You didn't see the egg fly out. I think if the egg was out, maybe you would have bought yourself a little more time still. Execration turned a 4k deficit to basically an even 1k deficit. Less than 1k now for either side. And with that, they just get to build up a little bit more. You've got a lot of gold on Palos. He's still holding out for his next item, and can they find Mac?
Mac's gonna TP. No. They will not be able to find that Mac kill.
Ooh.
This game's suddenly so much closer. The net worth graph going back the way of Execration. 1k the Execration's weight.
Yeah, it's...
This troll is getting scarier and scarier as time goes on. As long as he's able to pop his ulti. That seems to be the trick here for Execration.
Yeah. It's like, in that case, you didn't see the roar committed on him after the slam. You didn't see the Fiend's Grip after the slam. All the control was just gone. And they really threw it all out, hoping to burst Palos first. But they clumped up. You just can't afford to do that. Still, they get the roar.
BHM. 4 staffs away, but Boomy will be there as well. He will Firefly. Have they gotten greedy again? Fiend's Grip is there on the Troll. Great fish around. Now they're gripping up. No Echo, though, I don't believe. Not yet, but the egg going to be channeled all the way. Palos gets the Battle Trance off in time. He'll fight back up against that Spirit Bear. Ben Soy just waiting behind, waiting for that Battle Trance to end, and they'll just Sunray him to death. Ben-Hur trying to run.
Ooh, man. That fissure from Yaha, I think it hurt them there. It isolated 2 heroes down the ramp and allowed the egg to really just maximize. So with those kills, they can just go back to sieging the racks, and of course, well, I guess the disarm's going to make it a bit more annoying.
That it will. Bensoy gonna jump in. RR can't really do much damage to Bensoy right now. He's just tickling the Legion Commander. Blade Mail activated. Jewel was 2 seconds off cooldown. Now Lasso does come out. They really want this Bensoy LC. He's trying to survive the best he can. Pops the BKB. Tries to TP up, but no. They have plenty of damage. Adroit, they did get the mid-racks, however. I think they'll be okay.
Yeah, they got the melee racks, and they forced the buyback from Palos right at the end there. So he loses a lot of gold. He's delayed on that Satanic, and
Roar again onto RR with that Sunray Spirit Vessel, but Torrent comes in time. RR will survive. Ben-Hur gonna be there. Yaha with a nice Fisher, and they do secure another kill. Adroit do have to be a little bit wary of how many of those small pickoffs they give away. They really can start to add up.
That they can, and it's been a bit carefree is the word I want to use for Adroit in that retreat. Just bleeding kills they shouldn't. And, you know, you wasted a BKB charge as well on Bensoy. Not the best things in the world. He hasn't been finding dual wins. At this point, the LC is really just there for the control on top of every single other single target spell you have. So Adroit going to use this time to keep farming up. Tier 3 items are falling, and Orb of Destruction will make it a lot easier for Natsumi's Bear to melt those towers if they want it.
How is it fair that the Spirit Bear also gets a neutral item?
Right?
Like, how is that fair?
I don't know. Like they don't share the slot, so you have a lot that can come out just from one hero. It's ridiculous just what LD can do with those neutral items.
But now, it looks like he's just going to hold on to that Mind Breaker. Which is also just fair enough, but the Orb of Destruction would really just escalate things quite a bit. Adroit, smoke up. Roshan, going to be up in 22 seconds.
Radiant are scanning.
They're going to run straight into Execration, a smoke-on-smoke situation. But Adroit hold the high ground. Oh, Palos. So lucky they backed off. Lasso gonna be there. They found out Mac. He's in trouble. He tries to get the roar off straight on the troll. Now Ben Soy trying to find a dual target. Just trying to control Yaha.
Oh.
The egg is there and we have the pause.
No, this is a terrible time to pause. But it does look like Adroit has the control for Palos. Like, that grip is just going on, and there's nothing to stop CML just yet. Where is Yaha? He's too far out to break that. So even if he gets a slam here and, say, cleans up Mac, that grip is just going to ensure that Palos is more than likely dead, and the egg's in the back.
That it is.
Let's find out.
We will. Palos going down. Mac does die, but they did find the troll. No buyback available on him. And now the Echo. Yaha! He finds 4 of them again, but it's not going to matter. Yes, they are. Yes, they are. BHM trying to run away. He will be fine in running away. He'll just have to skip the creep wave, but they do have creeps available. So Adroit going to go for the bottom racks now if they can. Buybacks out on Ben Hero and RR. There's Yaha's buyback as well. That won't be enough though. Without Palos, I don't think they can defend.
No.
But
they
without
need
creeps,
Palos.
without creeps, Adroit can't push either.
Yeah, the bot wave was shoved in, and again, that cut BHM was doing down mid does stall. Their creeps down mid too. Their progression is stalled out, but they're going to be meeting up in the triangle.
Oh, Nightmare is there. Icarus dive over. They want the jewel. Ben Soy does get the jewel off, and now this is really, really bad. Ben Hur will die back.
Man.
They found the dieback on RR, and I believe this might be GG. You have about a minute and a half with no Kunkka, no Enchantress. The troll's coming up in 20 seconds, but you're going to lose at least 1 more racks in that time, and even then when he is up, how do you defend?
You can't. You need the slam to be up and running from Yaha, and you need it both. The full minute with no Kunkka is just really going to hurt you. And that's just, again, free time. Adroit's not even going for the Mega Creeps. They're going straight for the T-Force.
Of course. You know they can't defend, but they will go for the lasso on to that LC. There's going to be a roar out on Palos. He just gets bursted down. Yaha to be chased as well. They are all dead. GG, well played, has been called. It's time to Fountain Dive. That's the way. BHM dies. Yaha going to die underneath the son of Boomy. And that will be the first game victory going over to Adroit in 31 minutes. A very action-packed game, but ultimately Adroit proved to be too good.
Yeah, it looked like Execration, it looked like they had some answers in that draft. For a while, they were causing issues, especially with Ben-Hur's Kunkka. In the end, it's just not enough. The Adroit, despite bleeding a couple of kills they shouldn't have, do come out on top. There were some shining moments from Execration. Yaha was on point. They just need a follow-up next time.
We'll see if they can make it happen in game number 2. It is MLP and johnxfire. We'll see you all again in about 10 minutes for that second game between Execration and Adroit.